Sports Blitz.
It is a joyous day.
I love your show.
From the Emerald Coast to the edge of the atmosphere.
You gentlemen lift us up every day.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What it do, people? It's the homie Lil Cash. Right now you tuned in with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. The hottest sports show in the South. Let's go. It's Lil Cash with another hit with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. Where they talk trash and they talk ish. When it comes to sports, man, they too legit. It's 104.3 ESPN. If you love sports, better chime in. NFL, college, local sports, they got it. NBA, they got it. Sports Blitz, the top. The show hottest wasabi. Better tune in and go watch it. Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. If you even tried, you can't stop it. Bone Crusher gon' pop it. No Jeff gon' pop it. Go like, comment, subscribe, and share right now.
We are live and local right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your spot for all things college basketball, specifically the Florida Gators. Tonight, they will be playing the Prairie View A&M Panthers at 8 o'clock. Tip-off's at 8:30 right after the show today. We're so excited. We've got March Madness going on, and it is just crazy, crazy, crazy. We finally made it to the weekend, and this is going to be a great weekend because you know what? Tomorrow is all-day coverage starting at 10 o'clock in the morning all the way to midnight tomorrow night. You can tune in right here to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida for your coverage of March Madness, baby. We are going to be live all the time. Either way, we are so glad that you joined us. Don't forget, if you want to be a part of the show, maybe you got some insights on some of these games, you can call in or text in on the Red 7T's phone line, 850-215-6290. Got Jeffrey in the building, got his UK shirt on today. How you doing, Jeffro?
Well, he pulled it out.
They did.
They had some sweat on the brow.
Yeah, they did. And as always on a Friday, we got the Crusher of the Bones in the building. Bone Crusher, how you doing today?
Man, I'm psyched for a Prairie View A&M Panthers versus the Gators. Mr. T going to be in the house.
Mr. T's going to be there in Tampa looking at them Gators. Don't forget, as well, at the 5 o'clock hour, we'll be having Buddy Martin and Franz Beard from Gator Talk, and we're excited about it. GatorBait.com. Those guys know all about it. They're going to give us the inside scoop with what's going on with the Gators. So, Jeffrey, it's been a crazy night. You know, obviously, bedtime usually comes at about 9:30, 9:45 in the Wilson household. For me especially, just because I know I'm getting up early because I can't sleep that much. But last night, about 10:30, 10:45 was about the time that I went to sleep because I just could not stop watching the games. So, yeah, I'm ready to talk about it. Let's look at what happened last night. We'll definitely catch up to what's going on right now. But last night, obviously, we got to talk about Duke and Siena. Duke barely pulling that one out. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. Vanderbilt cruised to their victory over McNeese State, 78-68. Does anything pop out for you for Vanderbilt? You think it's just going to be business as usual for them? Obviously, they've got a match to look forward to. If the way it works out, they'll be playing Florida again, and that's going to be a barn burner, I think, especially with the way the last one went.
You can't skip any rounds, you know?
I mean,
Nebraska's in front of you. Did Nebraska kill Troy?
Yeah, they killed them.
I don't look forward to Florida. Vanderbilt's got to stay focused on this one game that's going to be tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true. And you're totally 100% right. You really don't need to jump ahead because when you start jumping ahead, that's when somebody sneaks up on you and gets you. But, you know, with that being said, Troy's head basketball coach, Scott Cross, just signed to be the new head coach of the Georgia Tech.
Oh, Ramblin' Wreck.
Yeah,
Yellow
man.
Jackets.
The Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech. Damon Stoudemire was their coach, former NBA player and player out of Houston, but now going over there. And see, that's what my point was on Tuesday. We had talked to Steve Barnes. He was talking about the Sun Belt Conference and all of that. He was talking about, well, it probably would be better for Troy to go play in the NIT instead of going and getting destroyed. They did end up getting destroyed, but it worked out for him because now he's got a better job at a larger university and also more dollars for Scott Cross going over to Georgia Tech to be their head basketball coach.
Well, it really wasn't a good pull for Troy. And you can't – if you're opting out of a tournament, you have to do it before they give you your opponent, right? You would look like chicken if you said, we're going to the tournament, and then they pull somebody they don't think is going to be vulnerable. And I didn't think Nebraska was going to be very vulnerable in the first round.
No.
It just depends upon who you're pulling. And vice versa. You know, like North Carolina, they didn't know they're going to pull VCU.
No.
Did they think that they got the lead on VCU, that they would just put them away? Yes. They had the size and everything. But VCU, there's teams who are undervalued at 11 or 12 seed, and they show their colors, and they get 2 wins. They're really proud.
Yeah.
1 win's not enough for these guys.
But when we're talking about Troy, going to the tournament, that is a lot of people talk about, I don't want to just show up. I don't want to just be there. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do, because you're judged by making the tournament. Now, if you're a blue blood, you're not judged by making the tournament. You're judged by winning and getting to the Sweet 16, getting to the Elite Eight, getting to the Final Four, and then possibly winning a national championship. But these smaller schools, I don't care what anybody says. You can't tell me, because every time you are judged, they say first time to make the tournament, second time to make the tournament, fifth time to make the tournament, 10 times making the tournament. If that was not the gold standard, they wouldn't be using it to say whether or not you're a good coach or a good team or not.
Or saying you're blue blood.
Right.
Because, I talked about it before. I said, I see Florida has 3 titles, but 23 appearances in the tournament. I'm not saying that you're lacking, but you compare the teams that have more than you. I mean, they don't have titles, and they've been there more than you have. But they have a lot of deep runs. They just haven't won the big one.
And that's the biggest thing, making it to the dance. Every year you want to make it to the dance. I guarantee you Stephen Pearl would not be on the hot seat, would not be having negative talk in the Plains had he had made it to the tournament. Even if he had an early exit on getting out of there. It doesn't matter if you can make the tournament. If you're a blue blood, you're measured on a different case scenario. But when you're a rookie coach or you're a team that's not supposed to be there, making it to the tournament matters.
And 13 is not a bad seed for Troy, because they could have ended up with a 14 or 15. Because I'm not saying this. If you don't win the Sun Belt in the regular season and you just win the conference tournament like Troy did, well, then you're probably not going to get that 10 or 11 seed. You're not going to get the respect out of a smaller conference with a weaker schedule.
Yeah. Well, that's the truth, and that's how it works. I mean, so looking at that game, that was a blowout. Obviously, I'm looking on the Facebook page. We got someone saying, how about the Louisville Cardinals? Let's go ahead and talk about that. They won. Obviously, I didn't pick them. I thought USF was going to win South Florida, but Louisville, with their pedigree, was able to pull it off. So, I mean, whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever. That's all I'm saying.
You just picked the wrong blue blood to fall because it was North Carolina. And you did see that coming, right? You picked VCU.
I did see VCU.
And that's a hard one.
You done said it. You want to talk about VCU? Go ahead. Give us the VCU update. You done mentioned them twice while we're talking about another 2 teams. So VCU, do you got their?
It's the big story.
Do you got their name carved on your chest hair?
I do. I've been to the. I've been to part of their campus. Let's put it like that. They're in Richmond.
Okay, tell us about it.
Well, I mean, VCU, Virginia Commonwealth, is known for their medical school and their education program. They're in Richmond. They have a medical complex in downtown.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, Richmond. Don't get me wrong. Richmond it's a pretty city. It's right up there on the James River. Beautiful view. And their medical complex, you park. This sounds crazy. You park in their medical complex downtown, and then you walk next door to, like, tourist stuff.
Yeah, well, the real reason why we're talking about VCU is because they were 30 of 66 for field goals at 45%, and then you had 29 for 70 for North Carolina. The big thing was 11 for 26 at three-pointers, which is 42%.
That's a lot.
From three-point range. That's the kicker. Again, they were out-rebounded. They were
out-turnovered.
They were out-turnovered. But no, they actually had more turnovers. Yeah, so
Wow.
No,
they had more turnovers, meaning like VCU had
9
turned over the ball more.
Yeah, VCU had 9
That's what I'm saying. They got
turnovers.
out-turnover because they were messing up. It was 5-1 in the first half for turnovers, not towards TCU's
Something that
advantage.
was kind of surprising, VCU had 5 blocks compared to North Carolina's 1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
With that height difference?
Yeah.
I mean, even the white kid up the middle, the tall guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he had some dribbling skills, but VCU was scrappy and fast, and they made him off balance. I mean, he would go up with the ball, and he didn't have the confidence that he usually has.
Well, and that's the biggest thing, like for the way that UNC played and Hubert Davis. Let's talk about Hubert Davis. Hubert Davis being the former NBA player for the New York Knicks. They asked him, the question was like, what happened? That's like they literally asked him at his presser, what happened? And you know what his response was? What do you mean?
Ooh.
He said,
that's
what do you
clueless.
mean?
That's not good.
He
you don't
said,
answer a question like that.
What do you mean? He asked him, what do you mean?
Well, the score didn't go our way.
Right. It's so really when you look at it, are we watching teams that's making a run in the tournament right now that UNC is starting to call their agents and say, once you're done, we want to talk to you? Because now you got to know. We talked about it yesterday. We talked about it the day before. Hubert Davis, if they lost the first game, I said they were going to be the first one to be looking for a new coach, and it looks like that's going to happen. Because the thing is let me just read you something that you probably didn't know. Roy Williams, you know him, the legendary coach.
Came from Kansas.
Yep. 18 seasons as a head coach.
Yeah.
Missed the tournament or had a first-round exit 3 times.
In 18 years.
In 18 years.
And Hubert Davis, you can compare?
5 years and has already hit that 3 number. So 3 out of 5
60%.
times, he either didn't make the tournament or he left early. So that's what I'm saying. And here we are again now saying that that's how we grade our coaches. Are you taking us to the tournament? If you're a blue blood, are you taking us past the first round, the second round, the third?
Or how about even this? Are you beating Duke?
Well, no, because it's not.
No, it is. If you're in UNC,
no,
that's the one that you're looking at every year. You can't lose at home.
I disagree. I don't care.
It's like Alabama losing to Auburn.
It doesn't matter as long as we make the tournament.
No.
Yes. It's no more. It's no more the old school way of your thinking. I'm telling you, I love you, but you're wrong now. Life is different now. Your rivalries and all of those things that used to matter so much to everybody, they still matter. You're still cheering. You still want to beat them. But at the end of the day, you want to raise a trophy at the end. You want to be in the March Madness tournament. In football, you want to make it. You want to win the SEC. Okay, so you want to win the SEC tournament or the SEC championship next year as an LSU fan?
The regular season or the tournament? Which one? All of it?
All of it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but lose the national title.
Well, I mean,
no.
As an LSU fan, the expectations are low in basketball.
I'm talking about football.
Oh, in football. Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, tell me.
It's experiences. I mean, I only have one comparison to make, and that's 2011.
Yeah, but I'm just
the
saying.
One time, and then we got blanked. It does. It's not a knife. It's not that kind of wound, but it's like, yeah, what if, sort of.
Blue bloods in football, blue bloods in basketball are measured by championships.
Yeah.
They're not measured by independent rivalries. Gus Malzahn used to beat Nick Saban, so much so that Colin Cowherd said that Gus Malzahn, starting off in his career, was going to retire Nick Saban.
Ooh.
That didn't age well.
Wow.
Because they had beaten us a couple of times with Gus Malzahn. And so, but the thing was that, you know what? Negative. We started winning national titles. It didn't matter anymore. It didn't really matter anymore. Now, when we won national titles, we would start beating Auburn more and more.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, if you look back, they loved Tommy Tuberville there because he could beat Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
But not winning national titles, Tommy Tuberville still didn't stay as long.
Well, he left on his own.
He left on his own, but still, he was still like, people were like, okay, yeah, you can go. It's okay. But I'm just saying. So getting back to that, VCU beating
North Carolina. And North Carolina was in control.
Yeah.
This was not a game where, VCU took the lead and they held on to it. No, that's not how that game was going down.
North Carolina, with the way that they were coming in, I would dare to say that probably 50% of people that paid attention to their basketball season so far probably picked VCU to win. I know I did. Did you?
The reason that I picked VCU was it wasn't just North Carolina. It was that I had to go look at that VCU schedule, and I had to see how the progression of the season, they got better. They started beating teams that they weren't beating in the beginning or middle of the season. They just consistently got better. It's the recency bias again, and that's the reason why I picked VCU. And I sat there and I said, am I really picking VCU against a blue blood? And I said, you know what? I've got to stick my neck out. And this is one of those teams where I see them as an underdog, but I'm going to stick my neck out and just take a chance because you have to. There will be high points. There will be VCUs. There will be teams like that pull it off, and you just have to be lucky enough to find most of them.
Yeah, well, I'm going to look at the next game that I want to talk about. Michigan busted $1 on Howard last night, 101-80. Obviously, it could have been way worse, but they didn't. They didn't keep going very long. But also, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They had 13 people playing last night for Michigan. Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about when we're talking about being able to get your bench in there and play. Now, they didn't play a lot of minutes, but they did get them in there. Another team that I thought was going to – I thought St. Mary's was going to give Texas A&M a little bit more I don't know. I haven't been very impressed with Texas A&M, and maybe St. Mary's just wasn't the team that I thought they were.
And, exact opposite. It wasn't the recent bias that we have about Texas A&M. They were in second place or first place at the very beginning of the season, and then they kind of took a dive.
Yeah.
And they kind of got buried below the top 5 or 6 teams, and then we kind of just forgot about them. They hovered around the 8 or 9 seed in the SEC, and we kind of buried them apart. I really had more confidence in them than the Longhorns. And look what the Longhorns, they're pulling upsets too.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to next. Texas beating BYU last night, 79-71. The second straight game for Sean Miller and those Texas Longhorns. I know that Brian is going to be going crazy over there at the Lone Star Bowl House if he's not already. Yeah. Normally he joins us, but he hasn't called today, so he's probably head in the boil going crazy with the crawfish, especially with Texas winning last night. I'm sure the whole place was rocking last night. So either way, Texas wins 79-71. Sean Miller getting it done again. If you remember him, you remember the name from Arizona and Xavier. Definitely knows what he's doing. And when you look at it, I mean, they've got the winner of – no, they got to play the Gonzaga. Yeah, they got to play Gonzaga, who won yesterday. They ended up winning against Kennesaw State 73-64. Not too big of a win. To me, because obviously everybody knew that was going to happen, but realistically, Gonzaga, their coach, been there, done that, got the T-shirt.
Thought they were just going to score more than that against Kennesaw State.
Yeah, but Kennesaw was athletic, and they were, they were very handsy.
Yeah.
So I mean, for me, I'm just like, what are they going to do? They got out rebounded. Like I said, the only thing that they could do is steal the basketball, and they had 9 steals. So pretty good for them. But on the flip side of it, they had 11 turnovers to combat the 9 steals. So realistically, it just washed it away. But VCU, High Point, so far, 2 of the biggest surprises. Obviously, Miami of Ohio. We'll talk about them later. They're playing Tennessee right now as we speak. But VCU and High Point, definitely a team to look at, to watch, to see, because VCU, they're going to have to play Illinois, which is a Big Ten, probably the third best team in the Big Ten. You could say third or fourth best team in the Big Ten. So that's
not the way they looked yesterday.
I'm saying over the year.
Yeah, over the year. Over the whole entire year, yes.
Yeah.
But when it came down to one day, they did not look good in the first round.
Yeah.
They did not impress me.
Yeah,
against a inferior opponent.
Right, but they won, and that's all that matters. So, but either way, we're going to go ahead and take our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about last night's game and got something to talk about with this coach from High Point. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
The Red 70s studio line is now open. 850-215-6290. Your home for college basketball. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The madness continues tonight for the Florida Gators.
He wants another three. That one is good.
The number 1 seed Florida Gators play the number 16 seed Prairie View A&M Panthers.
Wow, with the two-handed slam. Yep.
Coverage from the Benchmark Arena in Tampa coming up tonight at 8.
It's March Madness.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Top of the key. Got it.
Good afternoon. This is Anna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Friday. Sunny the rest of the day with a wind out of the west-southwest around 10 miles per hour and 71. Tonight, look for a light breeze out of the west and clear skies with a temperature near 60. Tomorrow, a high around 73 and sunshine with a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, very warm with a high of 73 and sunshine. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
The legendary Pepper's Mexican Grill and Cantina, home for the most popular drink specials in town and now on the beach. Enjoy 2-for-1 house margaritas and draft beer all day, every day. 10% off on Military Mondays, and Tuesdays kids eat free with an adult. Pepper's Mexican Grill and Cantina, now with 2 locations. Back Beach next to Home Depot and Highway 77.
It's March, which means it's tournament time at Coin and Bullion Reserve's Fine Jewelry. Colored gemstones are making a fast break. Emeralds, sapphires, rubies. Select colored gemstones up to 80% off. Regular prices? Benched. This is your shot to score some serious sparkle. Only at Coin and Bullion Reserve's Fine Jewelry. Hurry in before the final buzzer.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
To the rack. Layup good and wide. Out for the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. Gets the foul line extended. Rises for 3. Bang, he got it. To the rack. Dunks it with 2 hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
The Gators continue their run tonight at 8 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Broadcasting from the heart of the Gulf Coast and streaming to every corner of the map. This is the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back live and local right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your spot for college basketball in the Panhandle. It's a beautiful day in Panama City Beach. Don't forget tonight, 8 o'clock airtime, tip-offs at 8:30, the Florida Gators versus the Prairie View A&M Panthers right here. And then don't forget tomorrow, all day long coverage from 10 a.m. till midnight, college basketball. If you want to be a part of the show, you can be. 850-215-6290 is the Red 7T's phone line. You can text in as well. We will be talking about all of the games. So I see some of your text messages talking about the UK game. Yes, we're going to talk about that here in just a moment. Going to go ahead and talk about something, though, that's a little bit off subject. Just one of those things that is not very good. Chuck Norris has passed away at age 86. Some of the best jokes in the world have been using Chuck Norris. just
icon.
Just a one of those guys that forever will be remembered, a legend in the martial arts, in the movies, and everybody remembers
Texas Walker Ranger.
Yeah, Walker Texas Ranger. Just a great guy, and also all the workout equipment that he used to sell. He'd be on there doing his stuff, and he's like, "I'm 80 years old. Look at me!" And his arms were bigger than mine, and that was pretty cool to see. But yes, he passed away, and a couple days before that, he was his last post on social media was him in Hawaii with boxing gloves, working out, hitting a bag. And hitting a person that had, some stuff on. So pretty good, but our thoughts and prayers go out to the Norris family, and just a sad day for all those that loved him and really enjoyed him. Do y'all have a Chuck Norris joke? Because I used to have some, and they used to be really funny, but, I don't have one that right off my mind. It's something like, when Chuck Norris does a push-up, he's pushing the earth away or something like that. But I don't know. I don't have any right off the top of my head, but maybe we can look some up in the meantime. Did you like Walker Texas Ranger?
So the guy came from pretty humble beginnings. He's from rural Oklahoma, and the reason why he got into martial arts is because he joined the service at 18 and got sent to South Korea after the war. Mm-hmm. And he got into martial arts, and he just was extremely disciplined. And as soon as he got out the service, he didn't think he was going to take off with the whole martial arts, but he was in California, and he just started competing, and he opened his own place. And the guy was just, it was just a success.
Yeah.
Nothing but, and it wasn't just one martial art. He just started doing all of them. And his ability to get in with winning all these different titles and everything is just completely amazing. He got to work with Bruce Lee.
Yeah,
who's another icon.
Everybody always used to say who'd win out of Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee, and they did some stuff together.
They did a movie together,
but they never did really fight like everybody wanted them to, because Bruce Lee was always so fast and could turn Bruce Lee could turn the light off and be in his bed before it got dark in the room. That's how fast he was.
So he really he did the Dragon movie, and over there in Asia, he was huge. He was like David Hasselhoff as the Germany. He was over in Asia just killing it. He was like an icon around the world.
Yeah. Bone Crusher, do you have anything you want to say about Chuck Norris before we move on?
Well, Chuck Norris, of course, he had the very popular TV show, Texas Ranger, and I was helping to write a spin-off of that show. It didn't get made, but if anybody's listening, my idea is called Herschel Walker Texas Ranger.
Oh, my gosh.
Script writes itself.
No.
It's a damn Bulldogs.
You should have.
Chuck Norris axed my idea.
I would say he definitely would not want to have anything to do with that.
Yeah, and he was probably really good at Herschel Walker's really good at calisthenics.
Yeah. But either way, leave it to a Bulldog fan to try to write a script off of somebody else cheating.
Yeah, what's
kind of
next?
like Kirby with Saban. Never mind. Did I say that out loud? I didn't mean to. But either way, we're going to go ahead and go to the Red 17's phone line. We got Mike on the line. Mike, how you doing today, my friend?
Come on, but I'm fine, Paul. Come on, Bone Crusher. Now we can't have you run scripts for Herschel Walker, Texas Ranger. Anyway, Paul. How does everybody's brackets look right now with the upset of with the Kentucky game? Kentucky winning in overtime.
Well,
Did anybody have Kentucky winning?
Yeah, a lot of people did. The big ones were High Point, and then I think BYU was a big one. Wisconsin losing, North Carolina losing.
I didn't expect those to win. What I didn't expect? What I meant to say is I didn't expect High Point to win, and I expect North Carolina to win. I didn't expect them to lose.
Yeah, VCU outplayed them. They just obviously now they did lose their best player, which was their phenom freshman. He's out, so it's part of the game. It's part of the process. but it looks like it's probably going to be the end of the road for the North Carolina coach, Hubert Davis.
Who do you think is going to take? Let's speculate on that a little bit. Who do you think is going to take the North Carolina job?
Well, it just kind of depends. It depends on if they're going to go with someone that is tied to the college, and that's kind of what they did with Hubert Davis. There's a couple of others, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if they threw money at some of these coaches that are winning games. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me all if Gonzaga's coach were to come over and coach at North Carolina.
No, I'll tell you who I think is going to come over. UC Bearcats, the local team here in the Hamilton County area, Cincinnati area, fired Wes Miller, so I think Wes Miller may get a chance to coach North Carolina.
Yeah, to be curious. It'll be curious to see. I don't know. I think they're going to probably throw money at some people to try to see if they can get them. It wouldn't surprise me if if some of these other schools that are large, you could get. There's a chance Texas. Sean Miller could get a call. Nate Oates could get a call. I don't know. I just think that North Carolina being a blue blood, it's just like in football if Alabama, Ohio State, or Georgia or Texas or whoever calls that it's a little bit bigger or could, have a little bit more of heritage.
I was going to tell you, I watched the Ohio State game on Channel 7, the local CBS station in Dayton, Ohio, and I expected Ohio State to lose, and I called out right. Ohio State weren't going to go past the first round of the tournament.
Yeah, they definitely went out early, and which is a good thing for us Ohio State people that don't like Ohio State. I didn't want to say anything else.
Don't you like Ohio State?
No, absolutely not.
That's okay because I'm from Ohio and I don't like Ohio State. I'll tell you a little secret. I never have liked Ohio State. Now, my mom and dad, they're Ohio State fans, and my brother's an Ohio State fan. I am not I'm not an Ohio State fan. I am an FCC fan of the FCC. I like North Carolina, and I like all the South teams.
Well, we appreciate it, Mike, and, man, I hope that things start working out for my bracket because right now I'm doing okay, just okay, not great, but okay.
What do you have in your bracket? Who do you have left in your bracket?
I got a lot left. Looks like some of the teams that I've picked is going to win, but we'll see what happens, Mike. We sure do appreciate you calling, my buddy.
Hey, Paul, I'll be back next week.
Yes, sir.
Bad channel.
All right, my friend. Thank you so much, Mike. We appreciate it. He's right, though. Like, it's something – would it surprise you if Bruce Pearl got a call from North Carolina?
Yeah, that was extremely surprised me.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. I'm just saying, North Carolina wants to win so bad, they're going to call the people that are winning. They're not going to look at – it would be very shocking to me if they went with a young coach that's not connected to the church, to the school. It would not surprise me if they called, these guys that are in the tournament right now. It wouldn't surprise me if Gonzaga's coach got a call. It wouldn't surprise me because they want stability. They want to be in the tournament every year, and they want somebody that's going to be able to recruit the best players. Now that you've got all these other schools that have more parity because of the NIL and the transfer portal and all of that, they want to be able to have somebody that's going to win, and they want somebody that's going to win immediately.
Okay, what if they hold on to Hubert Davis one more year?
They're not.
Stephen Pearl gets fired at Auburn, and then Bruce Pearl takes the North Carolina job.
No.
I think it's a possibility.
I don't think so at all. I think it would be I could see them never, ever holding on to Hubert Davis. It's going to be here. I don't know if they'll wait till the tournament's over or if they'll wait till he gets back home. I don't know. He's out. And you could tell by the way he was answering the questions that he himself knows that he's out. And that's just part of the you can't – it's just like at Alabama. We lost to Florida State the first game of the season, and people were already asking for his resignation. The same way that we think about football is the same way that North Carolina thinks about basketball. Call Michael Jordan right now and ask him how happy he is with North Carolina basketball. I guarantee you he won't answer. He'll be like, no, I'm not answering that. But I'm just saying that's just a big deal. So let's look at a couple more things. The one thing that I did want to talk about, I went on a little bit of a tangent yesterday, and the one thing that I was on a tangent about was the fact that, the reason why High Point, VCU, these guys not getting the higher seeds, not, getting more love, so to speak, and then they're able to come out. Last night after their victory, High Point's coach, Flynn Kaman, he was interviewed, and I'm gonna read what he said. He said, they said, and this is his words, so I know there's some double negatives going on here because he was pretty passionate.
Oh, yeah.
They said, we ain't played nobody. We played somebody now. Nobody would play us, just like nobody would play Miami of Ohio, but they got to play us in this tournament. So he's on the flip side of what I was saying yesterday. So I was wrong. So apparently what he's saying, if he's correct, which he's in the know, I mean, he's a coach.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I said the way you get your games, you got to schedule out of conference games. You got to schedule these teams. He's saying, and I heard him talk on the Rich Eisen show right here on 104.3 during the day today, and he said that that's exactly how it is. He said, I called, I begged, I tried to get people to play us. They would not play us because we're in that next tier that if we were to beat them, it would hurt their resume. It would hurt them really bad, and it would make them look like a lesser team than they are. And so that's the big deal. So, yes, they are asking to play. These smaller schools are trying to play these bigger schools, but the bigger schools are saying it's not worth it for us. So, like on the flip side of football, they're wanting to play those smaller schools so that they can keep their rankings and keep all that. These smaller schools that are a little bit higher than your teams that don't ever make the tournament, it looks like the big boys don't want to play them.
And I think when they do play big teams out of their conference, I'm talking about the Power 5 teams.
Right.
They want to list 2 or 3 teams.
Yeah.
They don't want to list 5 or 6 like Florida Gators went out and played.
Yeah.
That's not the mode of operation that they usually take. And then there's, like you're talking about, the mid-tier, Butler, Gonzaga. These are the names that are not the big schools, but they're making a name for themselves in this sport. And what do they do after they play those 3 teams from other conferences that they have cred, right? They play the bottom tier, the easy, the cupcakes and all that. So they can get enough wins to where they look, hey, look, we went 11-1 out of conference. We deserve to be in there.
Right. But what everybody's saying is that High Point, because everybody kind of knew that they were good, they wouldn't schedule them.
Yeah.
And that's a big problem. So.
And there's another, I don't know if you've noticed the trend. There's a lot of metropolitan teams in cities. It's not just Long Island that's on Long Island. It's Hofstra.
Yeah.
They're on Long Island. They're next to Manhattan.
Yeah.
VCU is in Richmond. They're within just a couple of hour drive of D.C. Where's High Point? Outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. We have a lot of city schools that have pull. I mean, where's Kennesaw State? Northwest Atlanta.
Yeah.
Boom. You have another school that you're talking about in next to us, Miami, Hurricanes. Boom. Miami of Ohio, outside of Cincinnati. What's Florida State doing? They're not outside of a big city.
No.
They're not doing anything.
Right.
In basketball.
Yeah, I mean, and it is geographically challenged, and you can see the clusters.
Yeah.
And it makes me go back to when we had Aiden Calker from Gulf Coast. He's talking about that area up there in Virginia. He was talking about how great of talent there is, and that's where a lot of the talent is up there. And so with that being said, I start thinking about these cities that are in the metropolitan areas, your Washingtons and the places like you're talking about.
So his three players were from, I believe it's Queens, which is just New York, right?
Yeah.
D.C., that's the player that we had here, Aiden.
Yep.
And then Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And look, Milwaukee is not Chicago, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, it's a big city, and they're passionate about basketball. You know?
Yeah.
Getting those players down here in Florida, it's not normal.
Someone just wrote on the Red 17's phone line that missing big picture, these cupcake schools make millions of dollars in football, basketball, no money there. So that's the thing. I mean, when you look at how all of this kind of comes to play, you really wonder what really is going on with how these guys, how can they get, reputable schedules so that whenever it's time to be getting your at-large bids, you don't have to win your tournament because you played teams. But the teams that you want to play, the teams that you are trying to play, they're like, no, I'm not doing that because we know what you guys have. We know what y'all look like. And, that's kind of how it goes. But either way, we're going to go ahead and take our next break. When we come back, we're going to discuss a little bit more of this. And then don't forget, at the top of the hour, we got Buddy Martin and Franz Beard talking Gator football, or basketball, probably some football too. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Text us now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. Have you ever wanted to reach out and smack someone?
You can't fix stupid, but you can divorce it.
The new Sports Blitz. Rants, hot takes, and huge reactions are incoming.
And on behalf of 70% of the Alabama fan base,
feel the burn.
We want a damn divorce.
The Red 7T studio line.
You cannot give LSU extra opportunities.
850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida.
He has not turned the ball over.
Get in the game.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida gets results. Here's Brandon Strickland from Recommended Collision Center, Jinx Avenue in Panama City.
At Recommended Collision Center, we're all about taking care of our community, and advertising on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has helped us do just that. Social media ads were getting stale, but the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson gave us a fresh way to reach local customers. We've seen more vehicles coming in for estimates, more phone calls, and more people recognizing our name. It's been a great partnership for our business, pairing up with 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
To see how 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida can help grow your business, go to ESPNPC.com and click the contact button. Get your message heard and cut through the clutter. Go to ESPNPC.com and click the contact button.
You've been low-key thinking about dropping a podcast. Well, now is the time to start, brah. Sports, politics, finance, science, health, real estate, music, interviews, surfing, conspiracy theories, or alien abductions. Ready to main character your own content? We can make it happen with Turnkey Podcast Productions from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Our local, modern, state-of-the-art multimedia recording studio is now available for booking, starting at just $100 an episode. Take your fandom to the next level. For more information, text the keyword studio to 850-215-6290. Text studio to 850-215-6290. Text studio 215-6290 or jam over to ESPNPC.com. Bruh.
Lanier in transition, hits the three, and a sign of life from Knoxville. Plant driving right. Lob from Brazil and a two-hand slam.
6 on the clock. Now with 5. He drives on Maddox. Right elbow is raised. Spins to the foul line. Jumper up and it rattles in at the buzzer.
Don't miss any of this year's action on the road to the Final Four with Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the men's NCAA tournaments.
Listen live exclusively on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida and the ESPN Northwest Florida app.
Call in with your questions, hot takes, and rants at 850-215-6290.
I'm sure that most of you have used a dial telephone before.
The Sports Talk Monster.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Come back to the Sports Blitz.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida, your spot for Gator basketball. Don't forget, tonight at 8 o'clock starts the time for the Gator Network to take over the station. 8:30's tip-off. We're going to be excited. They're playing the Prairie View A&M Panthers. Mr. T's old school. So I wonder if they're going to say, I pity the fool tonight or not. But either way, we're so glad you joined us. Don't forget, if you want to talk, you want to text, you can do that, 850-215-6290, the Red 7T's phone line. And don't forget, at the top of the hour, we will be having Franz Beard and Buddy Martin from the GatorBait.com media team. And Franz is in Tampa tonight to cover the Gators, so it should be interesting. He's going to step outside and talk to us and tell us what's going on and what's the mood like for those Gators. You know, we were talking, Jeff, and I had this idea, and maybe this is something that's very simple to people, but I really thought about it. It's crazy to think that these teams, how that one player, two players, three players can be such effective and help a team like High Point, like a team like Miami of Ohio, like these VCU teams, like these teams that don't always make it, how that they can be there. But the portal has really opened all of this up. And if you look at it, maybe that's why what our conversation was about yesterday, about how these teams are only playing five players. These teams are only playing 7 players. You know, even Duke not playing but 7 players last night. That might be the deal, is like these players are all spread out across the country. And now, you know, like football, you'll see teams having a little more parity because of the NIL money, or this player will transfer there, or look at Indiana's team. They took a bunch of players from all these different schools. In basketball, all you got to do is grab 3 or 4 or 5 kids, pay them a whole bunch of money, and then boom, you got a chance to go to the tournament. And yeah, 5 players can actually take you to the tournament because, I mean, look at Siena. They almost upset Duke. That would have been the biggest upset in the history of probably the whole tournament, with a number 1 overall seed going down to a 16 team with only using 5 players. All 5 players played all 40 minutes. But those guys right there, Siena could have got them. I don't know if they're freshmen. I don't know if they're sophomore. Nobody knows them. But now people will look at them. It wouldn't surprise me if next year, number 1, that Jerry McNamara is going to be going to Syracuse to be the new head coach, or these players are going to go find themselves a blue blood and make their money because they made it to the tournament.
Yeah, I do get that. And, you know, we were talking about Kentucky today, you know, playing Santa Clara. And the stat was given out the last time that they made a dent in the tournament
was Steve Nash.
And I mentioned to somebody who's significantly younger, I said, do you even know who Steve Nash is? And they're like, oh, yeah. You know, Phoenix Suns, Hall of Famer and everything. And I was like, yeah. It only took one person at Santa Clara to put them on the map.
And now that the NIL and the transfer portal is so rampant, now these schools, yes, they can offer A.J. Dybonsa from BYU. By the way, there's no way. Now, unless you've got another person on your team that's 6'10", that handles the ball, there's no way that guy shouldn't be the number 1 pick in the draft, unless I don't know who, unless somebody else, unless the San Antonio Spurs get the number 1 pick. But he is the man. I mean, that dude is good. He almost single-handedly beat Texas last night, but he didn't have any help.
Let's talk about this stat right here, where each number 1 seed, starting 5, began college. Duke has 5 starters, and they all started at Duke.
Yeah.
Arizona has 4 starters that came from Arizona, have been there the whole time, and one of them from Alabama.
Yeah.
And then the other 2 are the anomaly. Michigan has 5 starters. None of them started at Michigan. They came from other schools.
Where did they come from? Texas Tech, North Carolina, Illinois, UAB and UCLA.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
All over the country. So here I was thinking that Juwan Howard was the one that recruited this whole team.
No.
He didn't. I thought he gave props to that university and put Michigan in a place to succeed. But he really kind of didn't. He just kind of like put the name out there.
Coach May.
Yeah. And then
they
here,
paid for their players.
Here's Florida. 2 starters.
Washington State.
Washington State. Arkansas. And Princeton.
Oh, is that Princeton?
It's Princeton Tigers.
Yeah.
I mean, that tells you something. Now, the thing I notice also about it is I've been to Duke's campus. It looks like castles. You look like you're in, like, England.
Right.
With castles and everything, right? Really nice. You like nice things, don't you?
Yeah.
Let's talk about a couple of these schools. Have you heard about a High Point?
No.
They have 2 steak restaurants and another restaurant for their students. They have all this endowment money, all the alumni money and everything they're spending on. It's one of the top 5 campuses in the nation, they say, because the money's being dumped in, and those kids are going there and it's going to be like, in basketball, you only need like, 5 to 12 guys, right? They're going in, they're like, oh, my God, I've never seen anything so nice and everything. And boom, they're recruiting like crazy. Santa Clara. Santa Clara is next to San Jose and Mountain View, which is where Google is. This is Silicon Valley. They have money like crazy. They have nice things. They're showing these kids glittery stuff and like, oh, I could go to school here. It's just like walking into the Alabama football weight room. Those kids get into that weight room and they're like, oh, my God, look at all this nice stuff. And then they go to Starkville and they're like, no, I think I'm going to go to Bama, because they see all the nice and shiny things that they've never had. And it's attractive to these kids to go to college in a nice place like that. And Duke has probably got a situation like that. I'm sure Michigan's got money.
Do you really feel this way?
I really do. I feel like if you know what a 17 or 18-year-old like thinks like that, they really do.
I'm just going to tell you this, and Bone Crusher, you might want to get this one. How in the world do we worry about what a building looks like, what a weight room looks like? These kids are doing one thing now and one thing only. It is show me the money. And they are not worried about any kind of steakhouses that are there. They're not worried about – they're wanting the chains around their neck. They're wanting the cars that they get to drive. They want to be able to buy their mom a house, their aunt a house, their uncle a house. They are not worried about what campuses looks like. It makes you feel like I'm in England. That's why I'm going to Duke. No, Duke's paying me $1 million to come play basketball. That's why I'm going to Duke. I know I'm going to go to Duke, and then I'm going to go to the tournament, and then I'm going to the NBA to make the money. Those kids are not worried about anything.
I disagree.
They're not worried about the library, Jeff. I know you're a world traveler. I know you're a sightseer. These kids, as 17, 18, 19-year-old kids, they're not looking at what trees look like and how beautiful the landscape is. They want to see that green stuff that's got Benjamin Franklin on it, and they want to know how many zeros they're going to be able to put in their bank account.
And you know what Ole Miss was doing, all their players, after they won in the SEC tournament in the second and third round? They went out to a steakhouse in Nashville. That's what kids want. I'm telling you. I got the pulse on them. They like nice things too.
What in the world?
I'm telling you.
You give these kids $1 million, they can buy a steak anywhere they want. It doesn't matter.
But if you give them a free steak, they're like, heck yeah, man.
No.
I'm telling you.
You don't have the pulse on this. I'm sorry. I just, you know what? And please, somebody, anybody, text, call in, message on the Facebook page.
Argue with
Are you
Jeff.
agreeing with me saying that these kids want the money, they want to be paid, they're not worried about going, or do you think going to the Western Sizzling down the road?
Oh, you better check out the restaurants that these guys are talking about as far as steakhouses go.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm telling you.
I mean, Texas, they can go to Texas Roadhouse and drop $150 now, and they don't even care. It doesn't matter if you got the money. They're not worried about what their dorm looks like because they ain't even staying on dorm. They're renting apartments and houses and all. They might even buy a house. I mean, the kid from Alabama, he had an apartment, and he was making $400,000 a year, and he's not even the number one guy.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, it's money. It's money. It's money. It's not the landscape. It's not how nice the library is, Jeff. I'm sorry.
It might not be the library. It might be a steakhouse.
Bone Crusher, can you come in on this for just a second? Do you really believe that these kids, when they go to these schools, are not worried about more than just the money, that they're worried about what steakhouse they got in the city, and they're worried about what the buildings look like and the landscape of the campus?
And that's a tough call. I mean, you got all that money, you're not too concerned, but I understand seeing the nice, shiny equipment, the nice stadiums, the finer things, good that does make an impact on their decision-making.
I think it does, but so let's give an example. Duke says, I'm offering you $400,000 to come play. Mm-hmm. Michigan says, I'm offering you $1 million to come play. Where do you think they're going?
Well, they're going to go to Michigan. That's a big, drastic difference. But these schools are not only shelling out money for them to come there, but they're giving them nice things, man.
I believe that. I believe they're giving them nice things. But
have you ever been to a shabby college? Because I have.
Yeah.
And when you compare it to what you've seen, you're like, wow, why would I go to school here?
Yeah. No, I mean, I understand. Yeah, and I understand that. But that's why you have these stars going to these different places. Mm-hmm. What's in Arkansas? What's in Fayetteville? Yeah. But Cal's in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And what does Cal do?
Cal
pays his players to get, and then he gets them to the NBA. So they're going to Cal. They don't care if they got the newest Bowflex. It don't matter. I'm just going to be shooting baskets, or if you're looking at football, look at what Ohio State. Yeah, they got the best stuff. Used to, that was what everybody was like. Man, look at all this. You got but now the NIL has totally pushed that on. Let's give an update real quick. We've got the game of the day that everybody was probably looking at and is watching. What?
No, this is not the number one game today, but it's one of the games.
It is one of the number one games that everybody was wanting to know. Is Miami of Ohio for real? Let me answer the question for you. No, they are not. They are losing 55-36 with about 14:59 left in the second half, and I'm just telling you, by just watching just a little bit of it, it's like a team at the Rec playing a college team. It does not look good for the Miami Redhawks. They are overmatched with this game right here for sure. Jeffrey, do you have anything to add on that?
Yeah, it was 13-10, and that run that Tennessee went on, I mean, it just didn't even stop. They were like, what was it, like 18-2, then like 24-6, and then like 33-19. Yeah. No, it was worse than that. It was 41-19 at one point. That run just never stopped. Tennessee just took total control of this after being down 13-10.
Yeah, and it's not even close.
They're not even on the same level.
Yeah, you can tell.
And they can bring all the Speedos that they want into that arena. It's not going to matter anything. The Volunteers got this game under control.
Yeah, there's no way that they move on from this. Obviously, It's been a great year, great run for the Miami of Ohio Redhawks. And, I mean, you can't – when you play a team that's just better, there's nothing you can do. I mean, they're just better. They can out-rebound them. They're just dunking all over them, and they're hitting their shots, and it's just not even the same.
Let's talk about this Tennessee stretch, because Miami, Ohio is not – it's a good team for the first round, right?
Yeah.
It's better than average. Next, they got Virginia, and then probably Iowa State, and then Michigan. I mean, this is not an easy path for Tennessee.
No, but Virginia did struggle a little bit today.
Yes, they did.
With Wright State. They didn't play.
They were down by 3 at half.
Yeah, they didn't play very tough. They didn't play like you would think they would. Mm-hmm. So, but either way, we're going to go ahead and go to our break. Don't forget, we're going to come back, and we're going to have Buddy Martin and Franz Beard from GatorBaitMedia.com. You don't want to miss it. We're going to talk Florida Gator basketball here in just a moment. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Call or text him now on the Red 7T studio line, 850-215-6290. The chaos lives here. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida presents March Madness.
Living up to its name, the Madness. 3, top of the key, got it.
Catch every upset, every buzzer beater, and every heart-stopping moment of the NCAA tournament.
White corner, he's going to take the 3, and he hit it again!
Your home for the Big Tense is right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
That right there is the explanation point.
Good afternoon. This is Anna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Friday. Sunny the rest of the day with a wind out of the west-southwest around 10 miles per hour and 71. Tonight, look for a light breeze out of the west and clear skies with a temperature near 60. Tomorrow, a high around 73 and sunshine with a wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, very warm with a high of 73 and sunshine. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you living with chronic pain, anxiety, or sleepless nights? You don't have to just get by. You deserve to thrive. At Thrive Alternative Medicine on Panama City Beach Parkway, Dr. Laughlin and counselor Suzanne Clark provide a compassionate path to relief, from medical marijuana card certifications to professional mental health counseling, managing conditions like PTSD, chronic pain, and the complexities of cancer. Book online at thrivealternativemedicine.com. thrivealternativemedicine.com. Find the relief you deserve.
WGSX Lynn WVLQ Port St. John. ESPN Northwest Florida.
No one wants to deal with plumbing, electrical, or HVAC emergency. It's even worse when you're not sure what it'll cost, when it'll get fixed, or if someone's just selling you something. When you call Hiller, you can trust our experts to actually solve your home's problems quickly. And with true transparency pricing, you know the price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. Book online now at happyhiller.com. Happy you'll be, or the service is free.
I'm a happy face truck today.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
The rack. Layup good and one. Off of the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. Gets the foul line extended. Rises for three. Bang, he got it to the rack. And dunks it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
The Gators continue their run tonight at 8 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Climb into our TM and jump into the chat. The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson is live on Facebook. Interact with Paul and other sports fanatics now. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What it do, people? It's the homie Lil Cash. Right now you tuned in with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida, the hottest sports show in the South. Let's go. Cause Lil Cash with another hit with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. Where they talk trash and they talk ish. When it comes to sports, man, they too legit. It's 104.3 ESPN. If you love sports, better chime in. NFL, college, local sports, they got it. NBA, they got it. Sports Blitz, the top. The show hottest wasabi. Better tune in and go watch it. Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. If you even tried, you can't stop it. Bone Crusher gon' pop it. No Jeff gon' pop it. Go like, comment, subscribe, and share right now.
We are live and local right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your spot for all things Gator basketball. Gator basketball tonight, starting at 8 o'clock coverage. Tip-offs at 8:30. We're so pumped up and ready for that game tonight, and we are going to be ecstatic to see them Gators take on Mr. T's Panthers. Don't forget, if you want to be a part of the show, you can be 850-215-6290, the Red 7T's phone line. We are going to try to make sure we've got it set up. We've got Franz Beard on the line and Buddy Martin. We are going – can you hear me, Franz? Franz, can you hear me?
Went by, and it's actually quieter outside here than it is inside, so that's why I'm out here standing against a wall. What a great place to do a radio show, right?
That is correct. Thank you so much for taking the time out. Friends, have you been hearing anything about the Gators as far as what are they saying? How are they looking at this coming in to play against this team that most people don't really know anything about outside of Mr. T went there? But other than that, what's the temperature of the Gators right now?
I would say the temperature of the Gators is search and destroy. I think that the week off, they've gotten refocused. They're ready to rumble. I think they looked like they did during the 12-game win streak, in the midst of that, when they were scoring 90 to 100 on everybody and blowing them out. It just seemed to me that these guys had really, really refocused. By the way, the greatest athlete to ever come out of Prairie View, I'll give you a great trivia question. Anybody know who that is?
I don't. I just said Mr. T.
Otis Taylor, the great Otis Taylor, who played for the Kansas City Chiefs, who, if he had been around in these days and times with these offenses, he'd have had 150 catches and 2,000 passing, receiving yards every year. I mean, 6'4", 225 back when receivers were tiny and they only threw the ball 25 times a game.
Yeah, that's no doubt. No.
But Florida's ready. I know that Todd says there's no such thing as a good loss, but sometimes you've won so many games in a row, and people are saying, well, when are they going to have a letdown? You got people looking at, okay, you only won this game by 15. You should have won it by 30. It's kind of the thing that I heard Steve Spurrier say when Steve retired. One of the things he said was, we're winning games by 21 points, and people saying, why didn't you win it by 50?
Yeah.
And people don't think that's pressure, but it really is. At some point in time, expectations have to level off, and I think sometimes a loss can level off the expectations. Now all of a sudden people are coming here, and there's an era. There is an era of expectation. Like, can they get it back? Can they play well again? Can they make threes again? Can they handle physicality? All these things are questions, and the only way to answer them is to get out there on the floor and do it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Buddy, how are you doing today, my friend? I wanted to go to you. I'm not sure if you can hear all that Friends was talking about, but we're so glad to have you on here. How you doing today, my friend?
I can hear you. I can hear Friends fine. We just can't get the computer to work. But other than that, we're good. And Friends is the guy you should be talking to. He's there live in Tampa for the game tonight, although anticipating not a great game. I mean, I think it's close to the biggest spread in history, 35.5 points against Prairie View A&M. And, whatever. But, it doesn't matter. I think France would agree with me. This is shaking off the dust. They need this time. If they even had a scrimmage, because they're shaking off the dust of that bitter defeat, against Vanderbilt, who beat them up physically, which is something you've never seen by this team. So I'll be interested to see, number one, how physical they'll get out there, not so much tonight, but on Sunday when they play the winner of that Clemson-Iowa game, which is tonight. And we'll see how that goes. But I think it's imperative that they not turn the ball over tonight. I think Branch agrees with me that we know they're going to rebound good. They got to get points out of their main scorers, and they've got to be able to stop people and not let them shoot threes. If they do that, I have no worries about tonight. I think Sunday they got to get their game face back on and play the kind of basketball where even Mike Krzyzewski said they were playing at another level, way above everybody else. So sometimes you just don't have your stuff. They didn't have their stuff against Vanderbilt, and now they're fighting their way back. And as Fran pointed out in his column, which he wrote so beautifully on GatorBaseMedia.com, that this team has a habit of when they lose a game and suffer a painful loss, and they've had several, including Auburn this year, they not only come back, they come back with a vengeance, playing better than ever. So if that's the formula, like Fran said, maybe it is a good thing as a good loss. This team can still win it all, and I've got them in my brackets right now, picked to win it all.
Well, we appreciate that, buddy. Let me ask you this, friends. When you look at the length of time that they were able to rest, how important do you think that is before getting into the tournament? Do you think that's going to play a part in them being able to make this long run?
I think the biggest amount of rest that was needed was between the years.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to let your mind go get back to sleeping in your own bed a little bit and just kind of just relaxing. You're around the campus, and it was spring break, and so nobody was around, so it was a very quiet time. Good time to regroup emotionally and mentally. That's the biggest grind that you find when you get to these six. It's not about necessarily the best team, although I think Florida is the best team. Mm-hmm. It's about who can win 6 straight games. You go back to Florida's 2006 national championship game, and Billy Donovan even said, I'm not sure we were the best team, but we were the team that went 6-0. And so much of it happens at this time of year. Who's your matchup, etc. like that. For example, Florida, by being the number 1 matchup in the South. Well, people are saying, well, it's going to be Houston and Florida for the championship of the South. Maybe, but Houston had the misfortune of drawing Illinois in as the number 3 seed. Houston and Illinois. Illinois is a bad matchup for Houston. Houston, on the other hand, is a tough matchup for Florida. So, Florida, on the other hand, already hammered Illinois in a preseason scrimmage, beat them by like 17 points. So Florida can handle. Florida is a tough matchup for Illinois. Houston's a tough matchup for Florida. Illinois is a tough matchup for Houston. I think Florida gets there and goes to the Final Four.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. One of the listeners wanted us to say to you, friends, he just wanted to say that, tell friends you look like you're going.
I look like what now? It kind of went blank on me.
I don't think you heard him. But let me ask you this, buddy. When we go in and we look at this team, how dominant they have been, if that shows up against this,
lower a little bit too much. But when you get guys who are 7', 7'1", who can handle the basketball like a card, you've got a special group there. And they have a special group there. Now, do they have a few spots they can get better at? Yeah. You can't make a bunch of fouls. You can't miss a bunch of foul shots and make a bunch of turnovers, that's for sure. That's not what this team has been doing. But we see Vanderbilt out physical in Florida. But you be prepared for things in basketball. You never know what you're going to get in March Madness. And I think this team is prepared and ready to win. As Fran said, win 6 games.
Franz, do you think that this team has that same pedigree as last year's team, that just the ability to just turn it on and never turn it off. Like, just give 40 minutes of just absolute domination. Obviously, last year with Clayton being a great guard and hitting those shots when they needed them most, this year kind of depending on the guys in the paint a little bit more. Do you think this same team can be similar to last year's team?
Well, I'll give you an example. Before Nashville, and I'm just writing off those 2 games in Nashville, I just think they were kind of an aberration in some respects, a kind of a time for a reset. But in the 5 games prior to Nashville, the Gators had hit 38.7% of their threes. Mm-hmm. They were shooting 43 for 99 from the 3-point line. Wow. And people say, well, they can't shoot. Did you know even before Nashville and even after Nashville, they had made more 3-pointers than the other teams they played all year? Sometimes, I've told Buddy this before, sometimes when Gators shoot a 3 and miss, they ought to be given an assist because somebody like Ruben Chinyelu picks it up and sticks it back in. You know, so maybe you missed 3, but you got 2 in exchange. And I'll give you guys a stat to chew on a little bit. Florida is 16-1 in games in which they've turned the ball over 12 or fewer times. They're 9-6 in the other games. If they don't turn it over, they kill people.
Wow. And that's been the kind of the way it's been for the tournament. And just so you guys know, Miami of Ohio, they're down by, I think, 20 still now.
19.
19 to Tennessee. And so that doesn't look good for the Red Hawks. Obviously, this is definitely a tougher matchup for them. Buddy, let me ask you this. When you look at this team and you see how big and how long and athletic they are, when you start looking ahead to teams like Michigan or Duke or Michigan State or Houston, how does that make you feel knowing that they're going to be a hard matchup for those teams because of their length?
Well, I think Florida can, but I think it does bother you. It's about the matchup. I think Michigan is not a good matchup for them. Mm-hmm. I think Michigan has a lot of, they are a talented team. They have length in the right places. But I think a lot depends on Florida's physicality. If they play like they played in the past, there are teams that will cause Florida problems. Vanderbilt should not be one of them. I put part of that on the feet of the coaches because I know Franz doesn't agree with me, but when you say, okay, we're not going to guard these guys, and those guys shoot 50% of their threes, that's a bad coaching decision. You know, and you yes, it's true. You never know who's going to be hot on one night. Sometimes the guy's going to beat you if you gamble. You can't do everything. You can't guard every first. So they overplayed it a little bit. I don't think there's any team that scares me. We've already seen, as Franz has written so many times, that they should have beaten Duke down to the last shot of Cameron. They really could have beaten Arizona. These teams that they lost to, they're certainly capable of beating. So I don't think I would fear anybody out there. I think the matchup at Michigan might be an issue, but let's see if Michigan gets there. Some people think Michigan might not even get there.
Yeah, that's true. Friends, we've got about 2 minutes before our next break. Let me ask you this. Has the Florida faithful made the trip to Tampa? Is it all orange and blue everywhere down there?
Well, there's going to be a lot of orange because Clemson, and that's Clemson with a P in there. Don't forget that. There's no C. It's not CLEMSON. If you say that in South Carolina, first thing they say is, "You from New Jersey, buddy?" You know, it's Clemson. There's a P in there. Okay. But Clemson is coming in with their orange, and they'll be against Iowa in the next game, and then Florida. But I think it's going to be an overwhelmingly Florida crowd. I see a lot of Gators wandering by. As you know, I'm outside the arena right now because it's quieter, and Gators everywhere coming in here to get into the ball game. There's I think it's going to be a really good Florida crowd. There goes Lee Humphrey walking by me right now. And the trolley coming in, which is going to make a bunch of noise. And it's covered with, it's completely filled with Florida fans, I'm telling you. The Gator Nation will be here today. Florida used to be a team that didn't travel well. Back in 06 and 07, they really didn't travel that well. But I don't know what it is about last year. They really embraced the Gators, and they've traveled well ever since.
Well, I'll tell you what, I appreciate you taking the time out, and buddy, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day as well. And you know, I just want you guys to know that this was the first time that we worked it out to where we could get a live feed, so it went pretty good. I know we had the trolley, but you know, friends, whenever I saw your face pop up, I know this is going to sound really weird, but it made me really excited because it actually worked, and it worked out good for us. And but thank you so much for coming on and taking the time out, and we'd love to touch base with you guys next week as hopefully Florida moves on to the next step.
Florida will move on. I said Florida's going to move on, and I believe you're going to find them in Indianapolis in about 2 or 3 weekends.
Well, sure do appreciate it. Thank you so much, friends. And, buddy, I'll let you say the last word. We appreciate you coming on, too, as well.
Let me just say it's a fan appreciation night for me because I love your show. You know that. Let's do it every afternoon. I know your sponsors' names. And, by the way, I got to go to that bowl. I got to get there. But you guys did a great job. Bring it really strong. We love having you on our side. So we talk about we have that Gator debate. So as part of the podcast, which we had you on before, we'll have you on again. Thank you. Keep up the good work and appreciate everything that you're doing.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. The great Buddy Martin and the great Franz Beard right here on 104.3 ESPN. Thank you guys so much. When we come back, we are going to dive into a lot more of what's going on right now with the current games and the games that have already just ended. You listen to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Call or text us now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. Your home for college basketball. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The madness continues tonight for the Florida Gators.
He wants another three. That one is good.
The number 1 seed Florida Gators play the number 16 seed Prairie View A&M Panthers.
Wow, with the two-handed slam. Yep.
Coverage from the Benchmark Arena in Tampa coming up tonight at 8.
It's March Madness.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Top of the key. Got it.
Good evening. This is Joanna with your latest forecast on ESPN Northwest Florida. For tonight, a mixture of clear skies and slight fog, and a low of 60 with wind 5 to 10 miles per hour out of the west. Slight fog and sunshine tomorrow morning, a light breeze and very warm near 70. A variety of slight fog and sunshine and 73 in the afternoon and evening. 73 and sunshine with a gentle breeze Sunday. This is your Friday's weather brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
When it comes to building smart and roofing right, TK Vandy's is the name you can trust. They're your go-to for general contracting, design, build solutions, and top quality roofing. From concept to completion, they deliver excellence on time and on budget. Whether it's a custom build or a complex renovation, they've got you covered, literally. Call TK Vandy today and build something better. Together, TK Vandy, built with purpose, roofed with pride.
Are you ready for another historic season at the bank? It's time to lock in your seats for 2026 by placing your deposit now. Next season will be played at Everbank Stadium, but seating capacity is limited due to in-bowl renovations, and spots are going fast. Don't miss out on your chance to see the season's biggest matchups and highlight real moments by placing your deposit at jaguars.com/tickets or by calling 904-633-2000. Go Jags!
ESPN Northwest Florida advertisers get results.
Hi, this is Todd from PCB Hobby on Back Beach. Advertising with ESPN Northwest Florida has been a wonderful experience. Their staff is very knowledgeable and friendly. If you want to talk with customers like you never thought possible, reach out to the team at ESPN Northwest Florida. 850-215-4468.
Get results for your business. Call ESPN Northwest Florida, 850-215-4468.
Lanier in transition, hits the three, and a sign of life from Knoxville. Playing driving right. Lob from Brazil and a two-hand slam.
6 on the clock. Now with 5. He drives on Maddox. Right elbow with 3. Spins to the foul line. Jumper up and it rattles in at the buzzer.
Don't miss any of this year's action on the road to the Final Four with Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the men's NCAA tournaments.
Listen live exclusively on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida and the ESPN Northwest Florida app.
Can you take the hits? Here comes the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your spot for college basketball right here in the Panhandle. Don't forget, tonight at 8 o'clock, the coverage starts for the Florida Gators versus the Prairie View A&M Panthers. Going to start, the tip-off is about 8:30. You know how it is in the March Madness. It's usually 25 minutes after the game before. So if it is a little bit of a delay, they'll stay on and talk, and tip-off will be as soon as it gets there. Man, that was exciting to actually have, friends right there in Tampa. He said the Florida faithful are already showing up, getting it going. And I'm just going to say, to give an update, right now, we've got it live right now. Utah State is up by 10 over Villanova right now. So you guys that picked Utah State, as in me, Villanova looking like an early exit is coming for them. So Utah State, a number 8 seed or a number 9 seed, beating a number 8. And so it looks like with 1:05 to go, they're getting ready to try to do some fouling, it looks like. But Utah State's kind of keeping the ball away from them, and they're going to the foul line now. So 56 seconds left, down by 10. What do you think?
It's an Aggies tournament.
It's over,
We
baby.
got Texas A&M advancing. We got Utah State Aggies. I'm just wondering where New Mexico State is.
They're not
They're
home.
not.
Yeah, they're
sitting
not
at home
here.
watching it.
Yep, they're not here.
So sad,
So,
Aggie.
Yeah, I'm excited.
You're excited?
Yeah, I like Utah
Well,
State.
guess who shouldn't be excited?
You.
Well, yeah, besides me. I've been calculating these tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
And the tournament sheets people filled out and who they picked as the winners and all that kind of stuff. And I get in there, and I knew I was doing really well. I was all happy and everything. And then I got to, and I'm trying to not look at the name at first. And I go through and all that, and I'm like, oh, wow, this person's doing real good. And it was my girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she had the same amount of wins as me.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy cow. But we have like 3 or 4 games that are like, just different and all that, right? I think it's 4, actually.
Yeah.
And so we picked different teams and the upsets and everything. And then I'm going through, and I know I have a lead on you.
Mm-hmm.
And then I keep on going. And then there's somebody who's beating us both out. And to show the unbiased, it's your wife.
What?
Your wife has got me by a game. But now I picked Villanova, I believe. Let me check.
I think you did. I'm pretty sure you did. I mean,
I sure did.
Yeah.
But she wrote down Villy.
Oh, yeah.
So she's got Villanova, too.
Yeah, good for y'all.
And so you're going to be catching us both up and closing that gap a little bit by one more. It's not over with. I mean, we got 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, 5th round. We got a lot of ball to play. It's anybody's game. There's a bunch of people who are all up in there. And I've only gone through like a third of these sheets trying to figure out who's got the lead.
Yeah.
But this is definitely it's not a huge upset, a 9 on an 8. And 20 minutes from now in Tampa, that Clemson-Iowa game should be one of the closest games. And watch it be a blowout. Because we're talking about a 4th or 5th best team in the ACC who's not impressed so far in the tournament. And then 4th or 5th best team in the Big Ten, Iowa. They're up in there. And the Big Ten's been impressing people.
Yeah.
This is a game that's up for grabs. And Florida, they're going to handle Prairie View.
Yeah.
And I almost hope they're jittery at the beginning. Because you know what? We've had Virginia has been jittery. Duke against Siena. Illinois against Penn was jittery at the beginning. They need to get the jitters out today, because 2 days from now, when Florida's playing the winner of Iowa and Clemson,
yeah,
it's going to be on. You can't have jitters for the first 2 or 3 minutes.
And that's where, being in the tournament, being in these high stress games like Florida has been in, whether because when you're the number one team in the country, or when you're returning, you're the national championship from the year before, and then you've got going to these big schools to play, the crowd is loud. It's going to be, and we're going to go ahead and say this one's going to be over.
Yeah.
Looks like Villanova has stopped. They're not going to foul anymore. So we've got a final coming out of the NCAA West first round. We got Utah State upsetting, if you would, Villanova 86-76. So by 10, the Utah State Aggies send the Villanova Wildcats home early. So
and they will have Arizona Wildcats next. Utah State will.
That's going to be a tough road anyway. But let me talk about kind of what Franz was talking about, and Buddy. Buddy was talking about it a little bit more as he was talking about if Florida plays Michigan or if Florida plays this team or that team. It is really about the matchups. If you've got a great guard play and the other team doesn't, there's that matchup problem. If you've got really big bigs and theirs are not, maybe the smaller schools have got 6'10", 6'9", 6'8", and you're at the 6'10", 11, and 7 foot, there's a little difference there. And it could show up in these games like that. So moving forward, as we saw, now we're going to have tomorrow, you got Arkansas playing High Point. Now you've got Arizona, like you said, playing Utah State on Sunday. When you look at these teams that are doing the things that you're supposed to do, how important is it to always stick to the game plan? Because, if you get out there and allow the pressure of the game, the loudness of the crowd in front of millions watching around the world, and you don't stick to the script, it could get out of hand, and it could get out of hand quick, because these teams that we're watching right now, I mean, what did we have? 4 schools last night score 100 points or more?
Yeah.
And, I mean, you don't play good defense, you can get run out the building in this tournament. This is a cool dude. So let me say this. I wanted to say hey to Christopher Multiconte. I haven't heard from him much about the Miami team, but Missouri's coming to town. It's going to be soon. So who'd you pick for that one? Did you go Miami or did you go Missouri? Are you a SEC homer in that?
I am not a SEC homer, and I picked Miami.
Yeah, I did too. So we'll see how that one goes. We can give the updates on some of the other scores.
Tennessee's a done deal. They're down to below 2 minutes, and they got a 20-point lead. So Tennessee is eliminated the Red Hawks of Miami of Ohio.
Okay, we can add that.
So there's only one Miami left.
That's right, which we knew that was going to happen. Again, Miami of Ohio, great year, great time. 2 losses on the year? I mean, that's great.
Yeah, this
right?
is the second one, yeah.
So let me ask you this. Do you see their coach leaving, going somewhere else? I mean, honestly.
It depends what kind of support you're getting from that university and athletic department.
Miami of Ohio is not going to bring a lot of money to the table.
You're right. But if you're happy and your wife is happy, you know how it is. And she doesn't want to leave Southern Ohio. Look, to each his own.
What?
No, listen.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
People who live in certain parts of the country like they're part of the country for certain reasons. Not everybody wants to live in Florida. Not everybody wants to live in Texas or California. Let's be honest with this. There's different people, and they like different places.
If you're going to sit here and tell me that his wife is going to stay with the $200,000, $300,000 year contract, or $400,000 at the most contract that he's got. But if a Big Ten school, if an ACC school, if one of these other Pac-12 schools calls and offers him over $1 million, you know what?
Yeah.
The little house.
I'll find myself happy with more money and not a nice
not
place
having
to live.
to pay somebody to shovel your snow out of your yard if it is in the South. That's the thing. I think he's going to do it. Let's go ahead and talk about it. One of the other teams was Iowa State.
Let's talk about Cincinnati. The Bearcats.
They're not even in the tournament.
They are looking for a job for a coach.
Yeah.
They need a coach.
Miami of Ohio.
And Miami of Ohio is right up on the left side.
Yeah.
Right up from north of Cincinnati.
But you said they wouldn't move. They'd move.
They wouldn't have to move. He could
They
just
would
commute.
move. Okay, but
and he would have to deal with it.
Yeah, but they're not trying to commute. They're going to be millionaires because Cincinnati can pay their coach because they used to pay Huggy a lot of money.
Bob Huggins.
So Iowa State busted $1 on Tennessee State, 108-74. The Alabama-Hofstra game went ahead and went final. You've got Alabama moving on 90-70, so there's a 20-point lead. Alabama was 32 for 67 from the field. That's 47%. 12 of 36 from threes, which is 33%. You know, Hofstra, as guard-heavy as Alabama is, Hofstra went 11 for 24 from the three-point line, so that's 45%. That's pretty good. Alabama just looks like there was just too much. They out-rebounded them, out-assisted, out-blocked, and, about the same in turnovers, 11-10, same deal.
So look at the SEC. 10 teams in. Georgia's out. Missouri could be the second team out. 8-2 is a great record for the first
Everybody's already moved on, except for Florida, Missouri.
Everything's a formality except for Missouri possibly losing to the Hurricanes. I mean, I know there's other games to be played, but I really foresee them going 8-2. I think Missouri's going to drop to Miami and will be 8-2. And then the next round, you know what's going to happen? We're going to drop about half of these teams. These 8 teams are not going to move on out of this weekend.
Well, you got to look at Texas. Texas is that surprise team. I mean,
A&M.
Really, Texas, I think Texas is more of a surprise than A&M. I mean, coming from the play-in and then upsetting BYU last night, I mean, pretty good.
Yeah.
The Alabama game, though, LeBaron Philon, 28 points. We wondered who was going to be the second scorer because, obviously, Holloway is out with the whole getting arrested and doing whatever he's doing. But the forward, Sherrill, scored 15, and the other forward, Bowen, scored 15. So there you go. Alabama played a lot of people. I mean, they had 9 or 10 that got in the game and played. So, I mean, that's what you want. I know that, that Florida, they play a lot of people. But some of these other teams, that would kind of concern me if I was a fan because of how they, how many people are playing and the fatigue of the tournament. So, just so we get the final of the Tennessee-Miami of Ohio game, 78-56. So, definitely a bad taste in the mouths of the Red Hawks, losing by 22. I mean, yeah, it was Tennessee, but everybody didn't even think Miami of Ohio belonged. Mm-hmm. So with them making the run, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you just really can't, again, their guard Suter, he went for 27. If he's a senior or if he's not a senior, be looking for his name to get called by someone else. And that's how you build your rosters. They're going to be grabbing some of these teams. It would not surprise me. Now if the coaches leave and go somewhere big, they might take the players like what Cignetti did in football. But if they don't, then you're looking at these teams like High Point, looking at these teams like Miami of Ohio, looking at these teams that are not well known, that their players start getting the calls from the bigger schools is like offering the money because Miami of Ohio is not offering hundreds of thousands of dollars to come and play for them. So
not yet,
and I don't think it will be. But yeah, so that's the deal. So we got tonight's nightcap coming, Iowa and Clemson, which you think is going to be one of those games, could possibly be of those games for the night.
The game of the day.
The day?
The
game of the day was Santa Clara and University of Kentucky. I mean, just to see what happened. If you get a chance to go watch the last 10 seconds of the regular game before overtime, I mean, they pop it over to the guy from Santa Clara. Boom, he hits a three-pointer. Kentucky with no timeouts left. They throw the ball in. He makes it past half court, maybe about 5 to 7 feet past half court, and then takes it up and boom, hits it with no time remaining to tie the game. Kentucky wins ends
overtime.
up winning in overtime and goes on. How big is that for Kentucky faithful? Obviously, Santa Clara, they were not supposed to win, but here we are again. Mark Pope, some people not loving him, but here he is making it to the second round.
Look, this program has been through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Over all the years, they never give up hope that their basketball team can pull it out. But in other sports, they have no trust in their program to come back or even stay in games. But basketball, those guys are never die, and that's how Kentucky plays. And, they're going to have a tough second and third round if they even get to the third round. But you're right. That was definitely an entertaining game. Maybe the most entertaining game of the day, probably.
Yeah, has to be.
With those last two shots in the regulation. Even overtime was pretty exciting.
Yeah,
you know?
And when you look at UK playing Iowa State, that's going to be one of those games, too, that's going to be like, man, can UK stay with Iowa State? They just busted $1.
Killed them
on Tennessee State. Now, Tennessee State, come on. Let's don't get too crazy with our first-round games. That would be interesting to do. Obviously, we all filled out our bracket, but wouldn't it be kind of cool to fill out bracket round by round after they happen?
Yeah.
That would be kind of a cool way to do it.
Yeah, it would be cool. Because
you would be recency biased. They scored 100 points against Tennessee State, so surely they're going to score 90 against UK, and then whatever happens.
So after Duke plays in the second round, I could say, that question about Duke and St. John's? I think I know the answer now. I might want to switch my answer, but I stuck with Duke, and we'll see. Because I think that Duke's setup with UConn really doesn't worry me all that much. It's St. John's.
I'm curious to know, out of all of our sheets that we've got, the 30-some-odd sheets that were filled out.
30-something.
I'm wondering how many picked Duke, how many picked Florida, and all of those. So
those are the most.
Yeah.
We had Illinois. We had other people.
UConn,
Arkansas, I think Arkansas,
yep.
We have so many
Michigan.
different. Yeah, Michigan definitely. I picked Arizona.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty varied, but Duke and Florida are probably the 1-2 as far as like people picking.
I know,
and it's crazy when you get Gator fans picking Duke. Man, you want to talk about turning a hand? Wow.
Yeah. Well, I got them going all the way to the championship, Florida.
Yeah.
And I got them playing Michigan, and I've got Michigan winning. So, which is what Buddy Martin was saying. He said, I worry about Michigan. So when he said that, I was like, we must think a lot alike on that. But either way, we're going to go ahead and take our next break. When we come back, we're going to finish it up and talk a little bit more about this March Madness. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Reach out and smack someone. Call or text now. 850-215-6290. The Red 7T studio line. While other radio stations are playing national contests with winners in Timbuktu, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has real local winners.
Hi, this is Dave Neat from Panama City Beach.
Bona fide and certified local.
Man, that's awesome. That's fantastic. Oh, my goodness.
Keep listening to Win on the Gulf Coast.
Hell yeah. Let's do it. I just won $250 from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are you living with chronic pain, anxiety, or sleepless nights? You don't have to just get by. You deserve to thrive. At Thrive Alternative Medicine on Panama City Beach Parkway, Dr. Laughlin and counselor Suzanne Clark provide a compassionate path to relief, from medical marijuana card certifications to professional mental health counseling, managing conditions like PTSD, chronic pain, and the complexities of cancer. Book online at thrivealternativemedicine.com. thrivealternativemedicine.com. Find the relief you deserve.
Hewitt Tire and Auto has been in business in Panama City forever. Locals taking care of locals. From the smallest to the largest vehicles, they do it all. But don't take my word for it. Listen to the experts.
Hewitt Tire and Auto, your certified AAA service center and hometown towing.
Visit them online at HewittTire.com.
On Airport Road in Panama City.
850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
The Gator Boys are back.
Florida will cut down the nets. Winners of the national championship.
And ready to defend their national title.
The rack. Layup good and wide. Off for the rim. Alley-oop dunk. Smashed down by Condon. Oh, yes, sir. Gets the foul line extended. Rises for three. Bang, he got it to the rack. And dunks it with two hands.
On your home for Florida basketball.
The Gators continue their run tonight at 8 on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Eat, sleep, game. This is your sports obsession. ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Sports Blitz.
We are back live and local right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your spot for college basketball. Don't forget, tonight, starting at 8 o'clock coverage, an 8:30 tip-off, or around there, Florida versus Prairie View A&M. We believe it's going to be a blowout, but you never know. The first half usually is kind of close. Teams kind of figure out each other. Got Jeffrey here, got Bone Crusher here. We're talking March Madness. You know, when you look at these next games that are coming up, you've got St. John's and UNI. I don't think there's going to be any problem there. The UCF and the UCLA game, that's probably going to be a pretty tough game. I think they'll both have to figure each other out and kind of go on from there. Purdue and Queens, I don't think that's going to be a problem for Purdue to move on. Obviously, we talked about Florida and Prairie View. Kansas has got Cal Baptist tonight. I don't see that being a big deal. And UConn's got Furman. So those are crazy. Then we talked about the Miami-Missouri game. That's going to be a toss-up. Obviously, me and you both picked Miami. But, you know, Missouri's played a tough schedule. They've seen some great competition. And you never know. SEC might go. But let's look at tomorrow. You know, the interesting thing is that now you move into where you've really got to start figuring out how to play, because now it's your second game, and you know, some of these teams haven't done this before. They usually play one game early in the week, and then they play at the end of the month, at the end of the weekend. Yeah. So they usually have about 3 to 4 game span. So now they go into every other for these, you know, these next 2 games. So now you got Michigan and St. Louis. St. Louis playing really strong, look really good, and Michigan did too. So if you had a bet to place on that, you think it's going to be within 10 points, that game, Michigan and St. Louis?
I mean, I think Michigan's going to take them by a dozen. Yeah.
So you think it'd be over 10?
Yeah.
I got you.
I think about 12 or 13.
Now, the one that I don't think is going to be close is the next one that we're going to talk about, Michigan State and Louisville. I don't think Louisville's going to be able to hang with Michigan State. I think they're going to be able to get them. It's a 3 versus a 6, so it's not too bad. But I just don't see Michigan State or Louisville hanging around that long. If I was to say a game that's not going to be very close, it's going to be that one. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you didn't even pick Louisville for the first round because you thought the South Florida had it, but I saw them and I was like, I'm not impressed. I saw the level of play that they're playing against Charlotte. I mean, it just wasn't there. Michigan State, I saw a little bit of their game against the Wolverines. They only lost by 10. The crowd gave them heck in Ann Arbor.
They were all in yellow. Ain't that what they call that color, yellow?
Maize.
Okay.
Like corn.
Yellow.
Corn. But, yeah, I think that, you know, the pedigree, you know, the coach, you respect him. You think that Tom Izzo is the man. You know? He's a top 5 coach in the whole nation, really.
Yeah.
And don't estimate him or his ability to recruit good players or execute because they have game plans.
Yeah.
They've been there before.
Izzo
They'll
knows
act
how
like
to
they've
win.
been there before.
He knows how to win tournament games, too. So
he does.
Don't put that without saying. Now let's move to the next one, Duke and TCU. That's going to be interesting now. When you see Duke play like they did, struggle, as
losing in half.
Friend of the show would say, struggle win. But that's a struggle. TCU really played good. Another shout-out for Trent Lincoln going there next year for those guys. But I'm just saying, it wouldn't surprise me if it was a close game, but watch Duke come out and, dominate or something.
Ugh.
You don't think so? You hope so for your bracket's sake.
For my bracket's sake, especially because I have them going to the championship and losing.
Yeah. Texas A&M, Houston.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Because you are really big on Texas A&M right now.
No,
you are.
I picked them,
you
sure.
Are.
Against St. Mary's, I don't know. Just even the name St. Mary's just didn't impress me.
Oh, my
I just wasn't about it. But I have Houston tearing through, going all the way to the Final Four. This is a team that's to be reckoned with.
Did you pick them to beat Florida? I think you did.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
Mm-hmm.
A&M. This is bragging rights outside of the not just greater Houston area, but the whole southeast Texas. Yeah. I don't think you understand how people in Houston send their kids off to college. A&M is a destination. Of course, UT Austin is also, but Houston it's a city school. So this is going to have a little bit of slight because Houston, they're treated a certain way by the two big schools. And A&M is a top 5 school in enrollment. It's a big school. And Houston doesn't have that pride because, they just don't.
But what do they have?
They have basketball.
Yeah, and they got Kelvin Sampson as their coach. And he knows basketball too. And they're, A&M's coach, it's his first year.
Yeah.
And he's doing a great job.
So do they have the hunger because they lost the big game last year? Is Houston going to come out hungry as like they just lost that championship
And they
game?
have a lot of players that played on that team from last year. Not all of them, but some. So that's going to be interesting. This is the one that I'm wondering. I'm wondering what you think about this one.
Arkansas High Point?
No.
Oh.
Texas and Gonzaga, the hottest team in the tournament right now has to be Texas.
Really?
They won the play-in game.
Yeah, BYU.
They won a game against BYU, who they wasn't supposed to. They didn't necessarily stop AJ DeBonste, but they held him in check.
Yeah.
It wasn't. They did the best they could with him, but I'm just saying, NBA first-round draft pick, possibly the first pick, and, they handled him.
So this is where the domino effect happens because I picked BYU.
Yeah.
Okay? And if Texas messes up one of my picks right there, they go and beat Gonzaga. I had Gonzaga move on to the next round. Boom, I've lost 2 in a row to one team that's ruining my bracket.
Yeah, that's true. That's how it works.
Yeah.
That's what happens. All right, so the next game, Illinois and VCU. Now, we've been really high on VCU. Mm-hmm. They're going to run into a team that's a little bit more athletic than North Carolina.
Illinois stumbled against Penn.
Illinois is more athletic than North Carolina. And I'm just saying it's going to be a different ball game. This one could be one of those barn burners as well. I still think Illinois goes.
So is this where we get the hesitation and we're like, okay, we picked VCU, they did so well towards the end of the year and all that, and we got them in the first round, and then we went to the second round and said, no, you know what, I don't believe them in that much. And then they picked Illinois to advance, and I might have regret, buyer's remorse on Illinois. Shoot, what do you think? You think VCU could take this one out?
That would be a huge upset because Illinois is a 3 seed, and will we see an 11 make it to the next round? That's what's going to be interesting. All right,
who are you pulling for though? VCU? Because I am. So I picked Illinois, but I'm going to pull for VCU.
Okay, yeah. I don't really.
You have a dog.
I don't really care about them. They're both.
Come on, Illinois is orange,
and Virginia is Virginia.
No, Virginia Commonwealth.
I know, but it's still
the Rams.
A little different, but yeah. All right, so this one right here, everybody's already put Vandy ahead of Nebraska.
Oh yeah.
But Nebraska's the 4 seed.
Yeah.
Vandy's the 5th seed.
Yeah. It's a lot closer than people.
Everybody is already looking towards the Florida. Vandy game, and I don't know. Nebraska might have more to say about it.
I think it will be close all the way up to halftime.
And then you got the Arkansas High Point. I think Arkansas is going to run them out of the building.
Yeah. So does it make any difference that Arkansas High Point game is tomorrow and then their opponent for the third round is playing on a Sunday, you get an extra day of rest for Arkansas.
It might. I mean, especially the way Cal's been playing his players, because he hasn't really played a lot of other people. He's played about 6 to 7, and that's it. Everybody else has kind of been just sitting there because, I don't know, I guess he knows something we don't about his team. But I just see this game getting away from High Point. I mean, yeah, you done good. You made a name for yourself. You probably just lost your coach for winning. Who knows? But it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I don't like the way that they do that. I think if you played Thursday and Saturday one week, the next week you should be doing the same thing and keep advancing.
Yeah.
But
well, that's what makes it interesting.
Yeah.
So that is the end of the weekend as far as for the teams that have already been described. Now, obviously, we're going to have teams that are playing. They're getting ready to tip off here in just a moment. Let me ask you this, conference-wise. What conference on Monday do you think is going to have the most teams still left in the tournament?
It's going to be the Big Ten. I think they're going to edge out SEC by 1. I mean, if Missouri falls tonight against Miami, you got 8 SEC teams. I don't even know if probably one or two teams have dropped off the Big Ten. Did they send 9?
Yeah, they sent 9.
They sent 9. They could be down going into the weekend, but when it comes to Monday, I think with that second round, I think the Big Ten is probably going to have maybe the same amount. They might both have 4, maybe 5. That's going to be the most we're going to see from a conference.
It's going to hinge on whether or not Vandy beats Nebraska, and then it's going to hinge on if Alabama can get past Texas Tech for me. So that's really because when you look at Missouri, they possibly could go, and then I see Purdue sticking around, Michigan sticking around. I see Illinois sticking around, Michigan State sticking around.
Nebraska.
So, I mean, I don't see Nebraska going. I got Vandy beating Nebraska. But, for me, I just think it's a big deal for the conference for them to win and be able to have the ability to, show some dominance, because out of our teams that we have right now sitting, who's got the best chance from the SEC to win the national championship?
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't see Arkansas at all making a difference on that other side of the bracket?
Somebody did pick Arkansas to win it all in our brackets. No, I don't see it, but, I mean, I've been wrong before. And them playing 2 weaker teams in the first 2 rounds, they could be extra day rested for a 1 seed
against
in the
Arizona.
third round.
Yeah, they'll get Arizona.
They'll get Arizona, who I picked to win it all. That'd be my bracket buster, so don't even think about it.
It sounds pretty good.
And, Monday we're down to 16 teams.
I know.
Let's say we have 4 SEC and 4 Big Ten teams. That's half the freaking field.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, this is going to be we're going to see. ACC's not doing well right now. They're not healthy. They need to get it together.
I mean, another question, what would be more surprising to you if I told you when you wake up on Monday morning, Duke is not in the tournament, or High Point is still in the tournament?
Well, okay, so Duke's playing TCU. I think I would be – I mean, you said Arkansas is not?
I would say that High Point, yes, so they would have to beat Arkansas. Yeah,
High Point is still in. And Duke is not.
Which one would be more of a shock?
Man, I think I want to say it's equal, but I mean High Point. Would we still be talking about High Point on Monday? Yeah, let's go with High Point.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because I could see Duke losing, because Duke's lost before early. Duke hasn't always win, even when they've been the best team or when we thought they were going to be the best team. Coach K coached Duke team has lost early. But I think High Point, if they were able to pull off the upset against Arkansas, that would be the biggest story of the weekend for sure, even if Duke loses. But as far as the top 4, who do you think is going to be the first one to go out?
Florida. No.
What? Oh, my gosh.
That's the team I picked when I picked originally.
Oh,
It's hard to not break from
They're
what
not
you
losing
originally
tonight.
picked. Yeah,
So
they're
either
not.
way, thanks for listening. We made it to the weekend. We will have all of the scores calculated, and we will be giving updates. You've been listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. We'll see you on Monday.
Go home for college basketball. ESPN Northwest Florida.
The madness continues tonight for the Florida Gators.
He wants another three.